Okay, so we're going to look at what the gradient of a straight line is. Now, if you look at this, the gradient of a straight line, it is just the rise over the run, or the change in the y's over the change in the x's. It's the slope of a line. So if we look at this little graph here, at the moment the rise is 1.7, the run is 1. So the rise over run is 1.7. If we make the gradient equal to 2 there, the rise is 2, the gradient is 1. So the rise over run is 2, the gradient is 2. We can make the gradient 3. And as we go up, there it is, 3. That's the rise over run is 3. So this is a fairly steep gradient. This would be y equals 3x plus 2 perhaps. And we can go the other way right down to 1. That line has a rise over run of 1, or a gradient of 1, or a slope of 1. We can have a 0 slope, but more importantly, we can have negative slopes. Okay, the rise over run here, the gradient of this line is minus 1 over 1, or minus 1. Every time we go across 1, it falls 1. So the rise over run is negative 1. This is negative 2, this little triangle. The rise, well, how far did it rise? Well, it didn't rise. It fell minus 2, and it went across 1. So the rise over the run is minus 2 over 1. If we look at it in other ways, here's another graph. What's the slope of this line? Well, the rise is 4 and the run is 8. So the slope is 4 over 8, which is a half, or 0.5. It doesn't matter where we put this. If we slide that in, oh, that didn't really work. But still, this is the same line. Now the rise over the run is 2 over 4. 2 over 4 is a half still. I'll try to see if I can just now. Oh, it clicks onto it. So there was the first line. We could go, if we move this B to here. No. We move the B to there. It's 5 over 10. The rise over run is 5 over 10. If we wanted to make the rise over run here 2, there you go. The rise over run is 2 here, 4 over 2, which is 2. We could make the rise over run 3. There you go. The rise is 6, the run is 2. So the rise over run, which is the gradient, how far did it go up? It went 6 every time it goes across 2. This is a flatter one. We'll try to make it nice. This might be 1/3. How far did it rise? It rose 5. How far did it go across? 15. How could we figure that out? We're looking at the difference of the y's. Okay, so how far has it gone up over the difference of the x's? Okay, so the difference of the y's over the difference of the x's. That's all the gradient gives us. So in this case, if we bring them close together again, the difference of the y's is 3. The difference of the x's is 1. So the difference of the y's over difference of x's is 3. And we can move these around again. We can get negative numbers here. Negative 5 over 5 is minus 1. We'll change it to minus a half. What is the rise? It went down 5 over the run of 5. So if we look at this one, exactly the same thing happening here. If we look at these 2 points, what would be the gradient? Well, the gradient's going to be the rise, 1, 2, 3. So it's risen 3 over the run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this has a gradient of a half. If we look at the triangle, 3 over 6. If we look at the gradient, how do we do it? The difference of the y's. So 2 minus minus 1 is 3. 2 minus minus 4 is 6. Difference of the y's over difference of the x's. And we can see that there. Difference of the y's over difference of the x's. If we look at the next one, we just scroll up. What's the gradient here? We'll get rid of this. Well, how far the rise, how far did it go up? It went up 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's gone across 2. So 4 over 2. We can look at the triangle here. There's the gradient, 4 over 2, which is just 2. How else could we get it? we look at the y's, what's the difference of the y's? 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 over 2. And that's exactly what we're doing here. The difference of the y's over the difference of the x's. 6 minus 2, 6 minus 2 over 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2. Okay. We may have to muck around with this one a bit. We'll change it up. Let's move this one A to there and the B to here. So what do we think the rise over the run is? It's risen 2 and it's run 3. So the gradient should be 2/3, 2 over 3. How did we get that? The difference of the y's, 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. And if you look at over here, difference of the y's over difference of the x's. 3 minus 1 over 5 minus 2, 2/3. And we'll do one more. We might put a negative in here. So if we want a negative, it's got to be going downhill. The triangle might be a bit weird here, but let's make it, let's make it that. Okay. If we wanted to do it beforehand, the difference of the y's, 5 minus 2 is 3. The difference of the x's, 1 minus 7 is minus 6. So that's minus 3 over 6. So if we look at the triangle, there it is, minus 3 over 6. What's that gradient? Minus a half. And again, before we even did that, I just went, the difference of the y's, 5 minus 2 is 3. 1 minus 7 is minus 6. So I know it's 3 over minus 6, which is minus a half. We'll do one more. All we've got here is 2 points. And again, it's going to be a negative. I know it's a negative because it's going down the hill. The difference of the y's, 4 minus 1 is 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So 3 over minus 2. So minus 1.5. There it is. Minus 3 over 2. What's the gradient? Minus 1.5. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with a little bit of gradient work and what the gradient is. Thanks.